What happens when a nation known for its peaceful transitions and vibrant democracy faces a true test of its institutions? Zambia, once hailed as a model for democratic change in Africa, now finds itself at the crossroads, with President Hakainde Hichilema under intense scrutiny and the country more divided than ever. But this is more than just a political story, it's a real-time lesson for ordinary Zambians, neighboring nations, and investors watching from afar. Let's get straight to the heart of the matter. When Hakainde Hichilema was elected in 2021, the mood was electric. International media like The Guardian and BBC described Zambia's new dawn as a win for good governance and a powerful example for the continent. Investors flooded in, buoyed by promises of anti-corruption, improved transparency, and economic reforms. But just a few years on, Zambia faces economic challenges, allegations of political overreach, and high-profile controversies like the sacking of anti-corruption officials, suspension of top judges, and heavy-handed restrictions on opposition activity, as reported by Reuters and ISS Africa. So what are the real lessons from Zambia's current turmoil for its people, Africa, and the world? First, for the ordinary Zambian, this moment is a vivid reminder that democracy is never finished. It's always being shaped. Even as frustrations rise over the cost of living and jobs, most Zambians still say in Afrobarometer surveys that democracy and the rule of law matter. The debate over President Lungu's funeral, whether to respect family wishes or enforce state protocol, has brought legal rights and cultural identity into sharp focus. The lesson here? National unity and peace are not guaranteed by laws alone. They require constant effort, respect for diversity, and an active questioning citizenry willing to hold leaders accountable. For many, this crisis is prompting a new generation to engage in civic life, demanding transparency, accountability, and above all, respect for the ideals of one Zambia, one nation. Second, for Zambia's neighbors and Africa as a whole, the situation is a warning and an opportunity. According to analysis by BBC and Al Jazeera, Zambia's peaceful elections in 2021 raised hopes for a new era in African democracy. But as the current crisis shows, the work of democracy is ongoing. The region can learn from Zambia's experience that checks and balances, an independent judiciary, and a free press are essential to stability. When these are threatened, even by leaders who came to power promising reform, the risks are real. Countries across Africa are watching closely. Will Zambia's institutions hold firm, or will political division erode decades of progress? The answer will shape how citizens across the continent view their own rights and responsibilities. Third, for investors, both local and foreign, Zambia's turbulence offers hard but valuable lessons. On one hand, political risk is always a factor, especially in emerging markets. The recent tensions have rattled markets and caused investors to ask tough questions about legal stability, contract enforcement, and policy continuity. According to the Financial Times and local business reports, some foreign investors have paused expansion or delayed new projects, waiting for signs of greater stability. Yet, there's also another side to the story. Times of crisis often reveal the underlying strength of a country's institutions and the resilience of its people. Zambia still boasts a young entrepreneurial population, abundant natural resources, and a history of respecting property rights. Investors willing to take a long-term view may find that as the crisis resolves, the country will emerge with even stronger governance frameworks and renewed investor protections, just as happened after previous political transitions. From the African Reset perspective, Zambia's crisis shows that political storms, while unsettling, can also bring renewal if citizens, leaders, and investors approach them as opportunities to demand better, not just endure worse. For citizens, it's a call to defend democratic gains, get involved, and reject tribalism and division. For African observers, it's a case study in the need for strong institutions, not just popular leaders. For investors, it's a reminder to look beyond short-term noise, assess risks honestly, and see value in societies that debate openly and correct their course. In the end, The lesson from Zambia is that every crisis contains seeds of progress. If people learn, adapt, and insist on a higher standard from those in power, the future for Zambia and for Africa depends on this ongoing process of learning and reform. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Zambia's current challenges will ultimately strengthen its democracy, or do you fear the divisions will linger? And if you're an investor, what matters most to you? Political stability or the resilience of a country's people and institutions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, subscribe to the African Reset for more in-depth looks at the realities, risks, and rewards shaping Africa's future. Stay curious, stay engaged, and let's keep the conversation moving forward.